where our next speaker, I was here 6 years ago or so, and to check out EXP as a Keller Williams agent. Obviously, I loved what I saw. Got my car, drove straight to Dallas. One of the first people I saw was Albie Stasek, winning a huge platinum record award from NAEA. Have the picture in my cell phone right here. And of course, he ends up joining us at EXP, built a massive organization of over 6,000 agents, and he's just the most incredible person you'll ever meet. Help me welcome the Iron Man himself, Mr. Albie Stasek, everybody. Give him a hand. Woo! Go get him, baby. What's up, baby? You're awesome, man. Appreciate it.
So thank you, Brent, and thanks for having me up for my second keynote here at my favorite event, Build. And they brought me up here for really one reason, which is good. I have a whole bunch of messages for everybody. But my main goal is to help you make quite possibly the biggest decision you will ever make in your either personal life or in your business life, or maybe both. Whoops, let's go back. Just blew my whole thing now. Darn it. So I believe that to decide, to make a big decision, is to kill off any of your excuses that were holding you back. I believe that when we operate in fear, we hesitate. But when we operate with love, it forces us to take action. And the number one agent attraction strategy, the number one strategy that you can do when you leave here tomorrow is to take action. You have to operate at a higher level than the ordinary person. So let's talk about ordinary for a minute. I believe that we live in a world of complacency. And complacency is defined as a slow, comfortable place of mediocrity. I was on my boat a few weeks ago with a good friend of mine. Darren knows who it is. And he's with a previous brokerage that I was with. In fact, I helped bring this gentleman over. He's a great friend of mine. And we started talking about real estate like we always do. It's a great topic to talk about. And I'm not real pushy when it comes to, pushing EXP. And I wasn't even pushing. He just started asking me questions about EXP. I'm like, you'd be great. And then he looks at me and he says, Al, I'm doing better than you think. I'm actually doing okay. I'm okay where I'm at right now. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you know someone who just has an okay business? Or an okay life? Or an okay relationships? Or maybe just an okay financial situation? I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, OH. And I don't have this rags to riches story, so to speak, but we didn't grow up with a whole lot of money, but we lived okay. We lived in an okay neighborhood. My friends I grew up with, we were all hoodlums, loved to skateboard, played lots of sports, do all those things. And a lot of my friends, they grew up to get an okay job and an okay lifestyle. And then, I went to Cleveland State. I majored in foosball and ended up dropping out. And I started my journey on my okay careers. I was a tow motor operator. I was a bartender. I was a bar back. And then last but not least, I was an over-the-road truck driver. Do we have any over-the-road truck drivers or ex-over-the-road truck drivers today? Give them a hand. We need them. I'm not here to cut on these careers, by the way. We need all these people, but they're okay, and they're going to provide you an okay lifestyle. But let me share something with you. Okay isn't inspiring to anyone, especially me. So, last year, 2 years ago, I came to Build and I spoke on stage, and a lot of people came up to me and they're like, heard you speak, and it really inspired me to go to the next level and this and that. So if you heard me 2 years ago, this isn't going to be too far off of that talk that I gave 2 years ago. But I want to inspire you to go to the next level. Inspire you to go, if you're feeling like you're in that spot of okay, I want to inspire you to get to that next level, reach into that outside your comfort zone, because there is no growth that happens inside your comfort zone. Ed Milet, in his book, The Power of One More, talks about it's caught, not taught. And I'm gonna come back to that in a second. But by a raise of hands, who in here is a mom and a dad to some beautiful kids? Raise of hands. Awesome. I am as well. Now, raise your hands back up real quick. Just play with me here real quick, all the moms and dads. And then leave them up if you've ever put your little boy or your little girl on a bus to school and you came down and you said to them, okay, baby, go out and have an okay day and crawl into a beautiful mediocre place of mediocrity. Anybody ever do that? No, you would never do that. So why would we allow our kids to see us do that? And by the way, where's he at? Aiden in the front row. I brought my son here. Everyone congratulate Aiden on he made it to day 3 without flying back home. I would not want him seeing me doing that. So Ed Milet talks about it's caught, not taught. What does that mean? It means your children are going to catch you going all in, or they're going to catch you playing small. They're going to catch you with building a big vision and going after that, or they're going to catch you playing it safe. They're going to catch you out in the back, checking out your phone, when a guy that made $3.5 million in revenue shares up here throwing gold nuggets. Or they're going to catch you going for it. They're going to catch you chasing your dreams, building big visions. They're going to catch you on stage talking to thousands of people, inspiring them to get after it. It's caught, not taught. I love that lesson. So talking about vision. Your vision is the reason that you came to San Antonio today. To see Brent Gove, to see Curtis Shewell, to see all these amazing speakers. It was your vision that gets you up early and it keeps you up late. And my hope for you, because my vision's expanded just in the past few days that I've been here, and I'm sure yours has too. But it's your vision that's going to get you that, and it's your vision that's going to inspire others, that big vision. So I'm going to share a story about someone who had a big vision. This gentleman, he's a honey badger, and his name is Hernando Cortez. And in 1519, Hernando Cortez set sail from the shores of Cuba to the Yucatan Peninsula. And he was after the world's biggest, richest treasure that was protected by the nastiest army in the world. In fact, conqueror after conqueror tried to go and take this treasure, and they all either got beat bad and perished and died. Now, Hernando, back in those days, you got to understand, like, conquerors were, there was enough conquerors like realtors. They actually had build events like this for conquerors so they can go out and conquer more things, And so, but Hernando knew one thing. He knew that these men, he wasn't just going to be able to go out and recruit a bunch of bodies. He had to speak to them differently. He had to speak to them about the vision, not about just how they were going to go in and fight, just how the strategy was. He had to speak to them in a bigger vision. He had to tell them that not only were they going to be wealthy and never have to worry about anything ever again, but their children's children would reap the benefits if they won. So he started recruiting the men, gathering them on all the boats, and they set off on their voyage. About halfway through the trip, Hernando figured out he had a problem. He figured out that he had a bunch of whiners on board. They started getting scared. They were fearful they were going to die. they started losing that vision. So Hernando calmed them down. They got to the beach. He gathered them all up on the beach, and he said 3 words that changed everything. And he got down and got real quiet. All the guys were like, what's he going to say now? I don't know. He's crazy. He said, burn the boats. And they said, excuse me? He said, burn the ships. Because if we're leaving this island, we're leaving on their ships. We're not leaving on our ships. And they torched all 11 boats. And what do you think happened? Something magical happened. They fought really, really well. But the real reason is why. What did he do different than all of the other conquerors, besides go to the Conqueror Build convention that year? He gave them a vision, and then he did not give them a plan B. It was plan A or die. It was plan A, fight, win, or die. There was no retreating. So if you have your pen and paper, I'd like you to start thinking. When you leave here tonight, tomorrow, whenever you're going back home, you're filled with lots of inspiration. What boats do you need to burn? What boats do you need to burn? It could be in your personal life, your business life. It could be something you need to stop doing. It could be something you need to start doing. What do you need? What boat do you need to burn that's going to push you out of that comfort zone? Because I can tell you one thing, there's no growth happening in that cozy little comfort zone that we all find ourselves. We get trapped in a little bubble called complacency. Maybe it's time to start that team you've always been talking about. Burn the boats. Maybe it's time to maybe sell a few less houses. Instead of working 6-7 days a week hustling listings, maybe you're just working 5 or 6 days a week and leave that 1 day for agent attraction. That is exactly what Brent Gove did when he started. Fridays was his day. Maybe that's your day. We call it Freedom Fridays. Why? Because if you worked on agent attraction on Fridays, eventually you're going to be free. Yes. Maybe it's a relationship that you know you need to burn the boats on. But it's been so long, and you've been tolerating so much, you just don't want to do it because you're equating too much pain to the prize of freedom at the end. Whatever it is for you. So in closing, we're going to do something cool, and I'm promising I'm not going to ask you to jump up and down out of your seats. Just stay right where you're at. But I'm going to ask you to imagine one thing. I want you to close your eyes. Who knows who this is, by the way? Shout it out if you know who this is. Nobody? It's you. It's you. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine your 95-year-old self. And if there's someone in here who's 95, just play along with this, please. Okay? I want you to close your eyes and imagine your 95-year-old self. And that 95-year-old self is sitting on the porch, maybe with a cup of coffee, maybe with a glass of wine, bourbon, whatever your 95-year-old self likes, he gets, or she. And I want you to look back at yourself today, your 2023 version right now. And I want you to ask yourself, what would your 95-year-old self high-five you for? What would they be like? You're kicking butt. What would they praise you for and give you a big hug and tell them you're on the right track for? Think about that. And if you're having trouble with that, then let's ask a different question. What would your 95-year-old self come and give you a boot in the butt for right now? What would your 95-year-old self tell you that you need to go home and burn the boats on right now? If it is the latter, y'all know what you need to do. You need to burn the what? I didn't hear you. Burn the what? We'll see you at the top or from the top. Thank you. Appreciate you.